Salutare tuturor! Mă bucur că ne revedem și ne reauzim. Sper că tot e ok și mă vedeți și mă auziți bine. Sunt foarte încântată astăzi, bucuroasă și nerăbdătoare pentru că am un invitat special. Miriam Tirado, poate că ați auzit de ea, este autoarea cărții LIMITE, care a apărut acum câteva luni în colecția Educație cu plândețe. Este o autoare din Spania, o prezint imediat pentru că nu știu dacă toți dintre voi aveți cartea ei. Apreciez foarte mult la cartea pe care ea a lansat-o în Spania și acum care există și în limba română, că e foarte practică și oferă foarte multe explicații pentru motivele pentru care ne e atât de greu să punem limite, nu doar copiilor noștri, ci și partenerilor noștri, colegilor, șefilor și chiar și nouă. Dar înainte să o invit alături de mine, vreau să vă povestesc despre Miriam. Ea este consultant de parenting conștient și jurnalist specializat în maternitate, paternitate și parenting. Și scopul principal al lui Miriam este să ajute părinții să se conecteze mai bine cu ei înșiși și apoi și cu copiilor. Welcome, Miriam.
Thank you.
I have made a short introduction for my audience, and I did it in Romanian. Of course, we will talk in English because my Spanish is, you don't want to hear it. I understand quite a lot, but I am not able to speak. But of course, the interview will be subtitled so that everyone in Romania can understand and use your good advice regarding limits. I will keep showing the book because I think for us parents who are trying to change the traditional ways of educating and we are trying to let go of punishments and physical intervention, we find out pretty soon that it's difficult to educate the kid when you have no good models in your life because you were raised in a different way, and there's so much information, and you struggle with small things and you struggle with big things. So yeah, we need all the help we can get, and your book is great in that respect. I have many questions for you. I try to keep them as punctual as possible so that we can address not everything there is to say about it, but I'm sorry, my introductions are always very long because I have so many thoughts and interests and curiosities, and I want to address them all to help the parents that follow us. Okay, so I will start by asking you, why do you think it's so hard for us to say no to our kids, to set clear limits, not only with the kids, but with everyone around us? What's going on? Why is it so hard?
Well, first, because, we want validation. We seek validation most of the time. And we know that this no that we're going to say, it's going to be refused for our kids because it's their nature to refuse a no, because their nature is to go to autonomy and to grow up and be free. So when we say no to our kids, we know that they are not going to like it. And we know what it comes next, a tantrum or crying or screaming, and we don't want this. This is why, one of the whys we don't like to say no. But then there are other things. We're not used to it in a good way. We come from a traditional way, as you said. So we don't have good models of saying no in a respectful, assertive, and connected way. And because we don't know how to do it, we try to avoid these no's. And this is the worst we can do, because they need our no's, they need our limits, they need our guidance. And we have to be conscious of what it's difficult for us, this saying no, why, and try to work in ourselves so we can put limits clearly, but also connected.
It's very interesting. The chapter in your book referring to the inner child, and there's quite a big conversation in Romania about this. What is the inner child? How can you meet him? How can you help him? Um, you talk a lot about the connection between the inner child and your ability, our ability to set limits. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
We have to imagine that we always have our inner child with us all the time. And this inner child, it's not more than our, our traumas, our things that are not our emotional, uh, most of the time, emotional traumas we got when we were kids. And because they are not solved, we carry on them with us all the time. And when we are with our kids, when we are with our children, and the present moment connects to something that it happened when we were children and it's not solved, our inner child reacts and reacts in an unconscious way. This is when we do things that we know that we don't have to do. But sometimes it's difficult and we struggle with this kind of things that we don't want to do and we don't want to say, but even we don't want to, we say it and we do it. So it's our inner child reacting. It's very important to have this in mind, because when I notice in my body this struggling, this sometimes it's like it's sensations in our body, like some kind of heat inside. It's the energy that's coming up. It's our inner child reacting. It's important to be conscious of that, notice it, and then breathe, connect to myself and say, wow, I am struggling with this. My inner child is coming up. I am the adult and I can take care of this inner child afterwards. But now I have to take care of these children I have in front of me, my child. So it's like we have to have this kind of dialogue with ourselves to make sure that our traumas don't get to um, run in the present moment, because our kids, they're not guilty of what comes from us, from our our first years of life. So we have to be very conscious of that. We have to have this dialogue. We have to take care of this inner child. And it's like be very conscious of the pain we lived when we were 1 year old, 3 years old, 10 years old. And this doesn't mean that we were not raised with love, with loving parents and caring parents. They were probably, but this it's compatible. We can have had good parents, loving and caring parents, and at the same time live pain that nobody noticed and nobody saw. So now it's us, the adult parts of us, that have to see this pain and take care of it.
And that, of course, you do by going to a specialist and trying to deal with what happened to you. And I would like to encourage our audience to find a healing path that it's best for you. So don't give up. It's important, and it's not as painful as you may fear. So I think that the greatest pain comes from the things that remain unseen.
Mm.
Once you start on this path and you try to you reveal it like an onion, one peel at a time, with the help of a specialist that can guide you and can be there for you as a professional, you will get into a better place.
Yes, therapy, it's a big thing we can do for us and also for our children. It's like taking care of ourselves. It's an act of self-love to go to therapy and see the unseen and be with somebody who can see, understand, and connect to that pain that nobody has seen before.
Mm. Yes, thank you for saying that. I have been writing and talking about therapy for more than 10 years now, and things are changing, but still
Mm.
there is a lot of stigma around it. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
it is. Yeah.
we need to talk more about this. There's a chapter in your book regarding the difference between limits and norms.
Mm.
How are they different, and how can we use these different instruments with our kids?
The difference is limits are very important, and they don't change if you are in Romania, in Spain, in the States, or in Philippines. You know, it's something structural. It's something that connects to the base of raising a child. You know, it's values. But norms are very, you know, they are different from a country to another, from a family to another. So when they are not knowing if this is a limit or if this is a norm, they can connect to this thing is, if I'm saying yes to that, can it affect to the a good development of my child? If the response is yes, it can affect, this is a limit. If the response is no, this is a norm. And then it depends of on the context, on the situation, that we are going to say yes or no to that. But we first have to know what is norm and what is a limit, and to see if this clearly. It's like for example, safety. It's all that has to do with safety. It's a limit. So it doesn't depend of if we are in Romania or in Japan. We are not letting our children be unsafe. So anything that puts them in an unsafe place, this is a limit. You know, we have to set the limit there. A norm. There are homes, for example, children can walk in with shoes because this is a norm of the family. But if a child walks in with their shoes, it doesn't affect to their development or to their brain or to their you know, health. uh, doesn't happen anything. So it's just a norm that we set for our, you know, um, space, for our family, because it's maybe better for us to not walk in with shoes. But it's not so important as limits. And when we know the difference between them, we have to be very clear that what we have to stand for is limits. And then norms, they keep growing and they keep changing as the kid also grows up and changes and needs more, you know, more norms to, you know, to grow and to communicate to others, etc. And they will um, there will be more and more norms as they grow up. But when they are very little, they are 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, five, six, the most important is to to settle in a good way the limits, and then the norms, as the less they we have, the better, so they can respect the limits, because it's the important thing.
Okay, it was very clear. Thank you. I wanted to ask you, let's say there was a family that, and that happens a lot actually. They have decided to do things different than in their childhood, so they let the kids roam free, um, almost limitless. But then they understand that this is not the way things are done because the kids don't accept a no. They haven't heard it quite enough. So the parent is struggling with changing the routine from no limits, which is obviously, I think for me,
Mhm.
it's similar to abuse. So not helping your child
Mm,
understand the boundaries, it's almost like neglecting him. So okay, let's say a parent wasn't informed enough and he tried to do the best, but well, obviously we fail. Yeah, we fail in many things with our kids. So then they read your book, or they listen to our interview, or they read an article or several, or they talk to a specialist, and then they understand, okay, so limits are important, I have to do this. How do you change your strategy without sounding like a lunatic to your kids? So forget everything we did until today. From now on, we're going to do something else.
mm,
So let's say you don't have your limits voice, so you don't know how a good limit should sound like. And maybe at first you will go to the other extreme and say
mm,
no to everything. What's the best way to change things, and also to be authentic? So not talk
mm,
in Miriam's voice or in Ivana's voice.
mm,
Each parent needs to find his own limit voice.
mm,
That's my belief. But yeah, parents are struggling with this. Let's say, yeah, I have decided limits are good, I want to do this, but I have no idea how to do it.
mm. Uh, I think that the clue here, the way of not sounding lunatic, and that what we are saying doesn't get to the child because he says, What are you saying?" It doesn't, I mean, it's not genuine for me because you said other things before. Is the clue is that the limit has to start in yourself. When this change of view comes from an inner space where you have um, you have understood that this is very important and why it is very important. You have noticed your failures and you have accepted them, but just to grow and to learn and to, transcend in some way your childhood, and you have grown with all these learnings. Then it's genuine, it's true what you're saying because it comes through from yourself. And then you can communicate to your child and tell them, look, your children, look, this past years I didn't know what I know right now. I have done this work in myself, and I have understood what do you need. And I know that this is going to change weird right now because I'm saying something different from what I said before. But I think it's very important for you, it's very important for our family, and it's a way of telling you, I love you. I have learned, I have educated myself in this issue, and now I'm getting to be a better mother. And the first days, of course, they are going to think that this is weird, mom has changed, dad has changed. But in, 3 4 more days that uh, of seeing a mom and a dad connected and be true to what they think and what they what they feel inside, they accept it. Because not accept it in a way that, oh, thank you mom for, no, no, no. It's like it's authentic, they feel it as an authentic way. And they relax because they really notice when you set limits to a child. They notice that you are loving them. It's like, I am important for them, I am important for my mom, I am important for my dad. And that's why they are not going to say it. Don't expect them to say, oh, thank you mom for saying no to me, setting me limits. They're not going to say that, but they are going to be okay, and we are going to feel it. I have seen this in many parents that the kids were struggling, very angry, because a kid gets angry when they don't know what is a yes and what is a no, or they they feel that this is not correct, but mom is not saying not anything to me. She's not saying no to me, and I feel that this is not correct. And when they feel this, the next thing they feel is not she caring, is not she loving me, because I'm not important for her if she's not taking care of me, because this is not correct. Why isn't she saying no? So when we start setting limits, it's like, oh, okay, they love me, and they can relax and stop being angry all the time.
I would like to add to what you said. I just remembered that I had some dialogues with teenagers, also live for the audience, and I asked them what they think their parents did good, and what they
Mhm.
think that their parents did wrong during their early and middle childhood. And one of the boys said, I'm very grateful to my parents that they, even as I grew up, they continued to be firm with some of the
Mhm.
limits. And for me, that was a sign of love, exactly like you said. And one of the girls, she was 20, and she said, I wish my mother would have said no to me more often, because I grew up not knowing what to do, what is safe, what wasn't. Of course, her mother did it out of love, but it was hard for her to set limits for herself because she did
Mhm.
not have a good model in her mom. So yeah, I think you are right with this, that the kids, together with the angriness and the sadness of getting a no, they also get the feeling that, okay, there is this adult that I love and who loves me, that can protect me. And it's very
It's
important.
like our job is to raise them and to help them, to guide them, and to say no sometimes
Yeah.
when it's not safe, when they need it. And their job is to get angry at that.
Mm,
And that's it. And say, oh, I would prefer something else. Okay, okay. I mean,
mm,
it's acceptable uh, for us that they get angry at our
mm,
no's, but
mm.
still, it's our job to say no, and it's their job to get angry at this.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
remember I was my mom was 19 when she gave birth, and I remember all my childhood. My parents were very young, and they came from their childhoods were very, very not connected, with a lot of authorism, and a lot of no's, repression, everything. So when they had me, they said, oh, we just want her to be free. And with this, kind of freedom they gave me, I was very insecure. I was, I didn't know what was a yes, what was a no. So they said, no, you decide. And I said, I don't know what to decide. I'm too young. I cannot um, probably make good decisions when you are 8 years old, 10 years old. And for me it was very difficult because I had to be very responsible, because I felt like I had a heavy weight on me, because I was very scared of failing, because I didn't know what was a yes, what was a no. And they said, no, you decide, we trust you, we trust you. But I said, well, but I don't trust me, I'm
mm,
too young. So I needed this guidance. Then when I was a mom, when uh, I had read a lot about parenting, and but still, when you read, this is theory, but then it comes the practical. And in the practice, it was very difficult for me to say no and to set limits. That's why I wrote this book about all my journey with limits from when I was born till now. It was very difficult because I didn't have a good model, and I had to re-educate myself and to see the importance of that. And I felt it. I felt the need of being guided with also no's that I needed so much when I was young. And now when I set a limit, I have a teenager and a pre-teenager. I'm so happy to be able to say no and say it in a good way and still be a firm no, because I really think and feel inside me that I'm guiding. This is guiding. This is taking care of them. And yes, they get angry, but it's okay. It's okay. Their emotions don't struggle me, you know? And this is important too, for our children to see that we can, you can express yourself, and I'm here and I'm okay with your big emotions. I'm not scared of that. It's a way of being able to express and then not feel guilty because your mom or your dad cannot connect with your feelings and cannot hear them.
Mhm. I have a question about that. But first, I wanted to invite you to a little game.
Mhm,
Let's say you are my mother and I'm your 12-year-old girl,
mhm.
and you have to set a firm limit about screen time. Okay, I want to stay more, whatever I'm doing, whatever on your phone or on your laptop, and
Mhm.
you are saying no to me. How would that sound? And I will
No,
contradict you, of course. Okay.
yeah. The first thing is that I have to thought a lot about what is okay at this age for you, with our situation, circumstances, your age, everything. Once I have this very um, thought, and I'm already sure of what I think and which is the limit, then I have to communicate to you. So I would say, look, our limitations about screen time are this. For example, you can you just have, for example, half an hour 3 days per week, and then during the weekend you have maybe 1 hour Saturday, 1 hour Sunday, and that's it. So you have just this time we have set, and this is what you're going to have. And maybe you think that all your friends have more time, that all the other moms are better than me, but it's okay. I can deal with it. I know you are angry. A lot of people are very addicted to screens. For our family, it is important that you don't get this addicted, so we are protecting you. That's it.
Yes, mom, but I need more. Half an hour when I'm 12? I'm sorry, it's just that's for 5-year-olds. I need
Mm,
more time. I want to read about things, I want to talk to my friends, I want to listen to music, I want to edit pictures for my school project. Half an hour a day, that's like, I mean, you spend like 10 hours.
mm.
Hello?
Okay, so we can talk about that. Maybe you can write what you would think that it's fair, and that it's better in our family. I would write also my norms about screen time, and let's see if we can get, a point where we all agree that it's okay for our family. Maybe we have to talk more about that, and I don't really know your what do you need and what do you like to do. Maybe you can tell me, and then we can see if you need more screen time or not.
Mm,
This is with a 12-year-old girl. If she's very angry, not angry, but she has a very good argumentation about why she does more, she wants more time. Maybe we can talk about it. What do you want to do really in this time? It's about hearing, listening to music. It's about work you have to do at school, so you need more time. Because you know we have to consider all this and then decide what is best for our children. But for example, social media and things like that, we would have to be very strict in this at 12.
Yeah, yeah. I agree, and I would like to point three things that came into my mind while you were speaking. The first is that if we are very firm and not taking into consideration what the
Mm.
kid wants and needs, he can go out and meet with his friends that don't have the same limits, and they will, if they really want to watch reels
They
or
will do.
whatever, they will
Mhm.
do it anyway. So for me, it's better to do it at home. Okay, you want to do this, okay, let's do it together, let's talk about it, and so that you have at least the understanding of the world. Of course, no social media when they are 12, definitely, but they will see others do it, and they really need to understand why we still say no to this. The second thing I wanted to add is that kids react very different to limits in general, and my two children are completely different. So the girl, she's 12, by
Mm.
the way, she has always been like this. I would say no, she would ask why, I would say this is why, and she would say, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. So when the timer is off at the TV or the console, she just gets up and goes out. But the boy, he's 9.5, and he's like, no, no, I need 5 more, please, 10 more minutes, please. My friends are here. I need to do this. Mom, you don't understand, but this is, I'm going, and he really did this. He put parental control on my phone. He asked me, how much time do you need on WhatsApp? And I said, 1 hour. How much time do you need on Facebook? And he set these limits, and at 4 in one day, it was a Monday, and I couldn't access anything because he blocked, and he put the pin. And I was like, so until I went to pick him up from school, I was like, I couldn't do, I was so angry. And he said, yeah, now you see how it's like for me when
Wow.
I'm in the middle of something and the limit goes bam and my internet is off and I cannot. Okay, so we talked about that, and now the limit is you have to stop. So it's not cutting off immediately because he needs to finish, and I understand that. So with some kids it's easier, and if your first child is a kid that's easygoing, you may get to feel about yourself that
Mm.
yes, I got this, things are working out. And then the second kids go like in your face, no, I will not accept this, and this is, yeah. So it can be yeah, quite tricky with some kids, and
Mm.
they will, and that's another the third thing that I wanted to say is that with some kids, at one point you will have to stop explaining and stop
Yeah.
talking to them, because they will just push and push, hoping that you will say yes, and that's tiring, exhausting, and it's
Mm.
not good for them. So you need to be firm. Some things can be negotiated. Okay,
Mm.
let me hear you, let's see, we
Mm.
can grow the limit a bit, but then I said 1 hour and that's it. I'm sorry you're upset, but it will not help you if you keep
Mm.
asking. I will not change my mind. So this year,
Mm.
this is the final limit, and then next year we can talk again and see.
Mm.
Because it can really mess up with your brain too. Some kids are relentless, and they
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
go arguing with you for hours
Mm.
because
Yeah, and it's
Mhm.
exhausting, and
Yeah,
it doesn't help because you're not going to get to another point. The thing is that it is what it is, and that's it. And I'm the mother. I know more things than you, even if you don't think that's true. But it is what it is. So you can get angry 5 days if you want. I'm not going to change this, and that's it. And I always uh, tell the parents, do not talk so much. We talk too much,
I agree.
generally,
Yeah,
and we keep saying talking and talking. No, silence is a very good way of setting a limit as well. Is you have an hour, that's it, and you shut up, because there's no need of once they know you have with 9.5, he understands perfectly what you say. So once you have said it once, he knows.
mm,
So keep talking a lot about the same thing one and again and again and again. It's exhausting for both.
yeah.
So it's better to stop talking, and that's it. But of course there are kids and kids, and with other kids, they are really, you can negotiate, and they will respect you have said, and it's okay to do this. But with some others it doesn't work, so there's no negotiation possible.
Mm, yes. But I think they will do well in life because they know how to defend themselves. They
Yeah,
stand
yeah,
for what they
yeah.
need, and they're
I
like,
love
yeah,
those
they
kids.
question everything. Yeah, even you, mom, you're not as
Yeah.
smart as.
And it's good. It's
Yeah.
good. It's healthy to, to have their own thoughts, their own way of seeing life and fighting for it. It's they are connected and they fight for what they think it's okay, and it's good. It's we have to be proud of them, but still we have to set limits.
Yes. Yes. I totally agree. W- what do we do with all the big feelings that saying no to our kid and seeing and feeling his reaction to it, that can be overwhelming for a parent. You feel guilt, maybe you feel shame, you feel
Mhm.
unsure, you feel like a bad parent, you feel confused. Um, how do we handle? Because I think for kids it's important to have consistency. So once you said no, doesn't matter how hard they cry or what they do, it should
I
be a
know.
no because you have already thought about that really well and you have to trust yourself, so you have to stick to it, but it's very hard when your emotions are so big and all over the place. So how do we stand with our no and all
Mm.
these emotions at the same time?
First, we have to understand what emotions are. And emotions are energy that come to us to let us see things of ourselves that need to be seen and taken care of. So when it comes in us, anger or guilt or any other emotion, we have to, to be conscious. Wow, I'm feeling this. What is this about? Why am I feeling this? And why in this very moment I am connected to this emotion? Why? What does it connect me to? Because probably it connects us to emotions that come from very, very, very long time ago, probably from our childhood, and we are reacting to the present, but from things from the past. So emotions are not permanent. They come and go. They come and go. They are like waves in the sea. They come and go, and it's something that we can transitate. We can, we can feel them. It's what we have to do with emotions is to feel them, sit and feel, and breathe them, and and be really connected to the emotion, but not get lost with the emotion. I mean, we are driving our car, not our anger has to drive our car. Okay, we are in the front, and then we can see the emotion come, we can breathe it, and we can navigate it. But, we are in front of the car, and we're not letting our emotion to take the control of our car and drive. Okay. Um, Once we are very used to feel the emotions like this and not getting scared of our own emotions, we can deal with our children emotions because we know they are not permanent. They are angry now, but this anger is going to live. Then they will be probably sad and they will cry, and this sadness will live. They will be happy, and this happiness also will live. And it's all the time, since we are in our mom's bump, we are feeling, and we are going to feel until the our last breath. So from the beginning to the last day, we're going to feel a lot of emotions, and we have to understand this way, this way of living, that we feel and we learn, we feel and we learn, and we have to learn about our emotions. So when big emotions come with our children, And also big emotions come with us. We have to see them as a way of learning about us, and a way of connecting to our kids. When I validate their emotions, when I understand their emotions, when I tell them, I see your anger, I know that you're very angry, I know that you're very upset, I'm sorry that you are struggling right now, but I'm here for you also when you are like this. It's like, wow, my mom loves me. Even if I'm angry, okay, but she loves me. She can hold on to my, to myself. She is not living. She is not punishing me. She is not, making me feel guilty. And this is great to navigate our emotions, but also, be able to embrace our children emotions. And this is a totally different way of seeing emotions, as the traditional way. Some years ago, emotions were put into boxes, the negative ones and the positive ones. Emotions are not negative or positive, they just simply are. What makes them positive or negative is our perception of these emotions. And because of the emotions are felt in the body, we feel sensations. And these sensations sometimes are comfortable and sometimes are very uncomfortable. And when they are uncomfortable, we think that they are very negative, but they are not negative. They are just emotions that come to make us notice something that has to be seen from ourselves, that make us grow, make us learn from ourselves, make us, connect to our inner child. And this is very important. When we lose the fear of feeling, we start um, taking our emotions in a very assertive way. And we are also teaching our kids how to deal with big emotions. When they see us taking care of our big emotions in a conscious way, feel them, breathe them, not letting the emotions take the control of the car, we are showing them your big emotions also can be taken in this way. And there's no need to scream, shout, and be rude, etc.
Thank you. I only have a few questions left, and one that comes often into my mind, and I see also mothers asking on groups, is how limits interfere with kids' need of control and autonomy and own decision making. What's your opinion on this?
They can decide and take decisions on things that don't question their safety and their development. They can decide on a lot of things: what to wear, what colors, what to do right now. But other things are not going to be. They won't be able to decide because they are too young. It depends, of course, on the age, etc. But they cannot wear, summer clothes in the middle of January if we are -12, because this is not safe for them. And it's our responsibility to take care of them. So they can decide a lot of things during the day, but not um, things that put them in a difficult situation. This is our job, to be there and make them know when something is not safe, when something is not respectful, etc.
Okay, that's clear. I also wanted to ask you, you say in your book something that's pretty counterintuitive, and that is that setting limits can be a connection moment between you and your child. I love that idea. Can you expand on that a bit?
Hmm. When you set a limit, it's for me it's very important to be in the present moment. You cannot set a limit when you are thinking on something else, like, oh, it's too late, I have to do this and do that, we're going to get late to school. Or I'm setting the limit and I'm thinking, oh, I'm doing bad, now he's going to cry a lot, I can now help him with his emotions, I'm too tired. When I am thinking all these thoughts are taking me off the present moment. And most of the time, I'm thinking of the future. If he's doing this right now, what is he going to do when he's 14? Oh my God. I don't want him to be a teenage man because it's going to be very difficult. I am so tired of being his mom, etc. If I'm my mind is talking to me in this way, is taking me off the present moment. And the connection between two people, it only expresses in the present moment. It's always in the now. And if I am not in the now because I'm thinking, because I'm worried, because I'm in other places thinking other stuff, I'm not in the now. And my kid is going to notice it. You know when somebody is not right there with you, when it's not connected to you, when it's not listening to your pain. So when you really are there, present, just here and now, and connected to the pain that your child is living right now, and you're empathizing, and you're, validating, this is a precious moment. It's a moment of being one and helping the other one, who is feeling this kind of pain, telling him, I am here for you, I am here with you, you are not alone. And this is a very nice moment because it makes you feel, yeah, maybe, still, if you are, even if you are angry, you feel that you're not alone. And this is self-esteem, this is connection that is going to make you grow, and make you turn into the adult you have to become in a very safe and connected and, confident way. And this is very good and nice, but we have to be always in the present moment. And this is very difficult for parents nowadays, because we are living in I don't know, in Romania, I imagine, I guess that it's mostly the same as in Spain. We are living in a very stressful societies, and everything goes very fast, and people are doing too many things, and it's difficult to be present with our kids.
Yeah, I feel parents are struggling as well with lack of time.
Mm.
Parents spend a lot of time in kindergartens or after schools, and there is, yeah, too little time to connect.
Mm.
And
Mm.
when the little time you have to keep saying no to things, no to screens, yes to homework. Yeah, then it gets difficult to have that harmony and
Mm.
just quality time together. So,
and
but
and when we have very little time with our kids, we probably say less no's than we would have to, because
yeah.
we think, oh, I'm just seeing him 1 hour, two
Mm,
hours I'm not going to make him angry right now, so okay, it doesn't matter, I prefer him to be happy with me because we just spend very little time. So let's be happy. But
mm,
this kid needs a no, probably. So sometimes spending very little time with them, it affects also to our connection because we are not being in the place we have to be.
mm,
And the kid feels like, oh, I'm not important for him because right
mm,
now, for her, because right now It's like, mm, he's not being a real mom, a real dad that guides me.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, what do we do when our partner is has a different
Mm.
parenting style or has no parenting style, and we have like severe differences in the way we set our limits and the way we react to kids' behavior? What's the best approach in your opinion?
This is so difficult. It's so difficult and so common as well, because we are two people uh, being raised in different ways and having, a different system belief, probably also in parenting, in a lot of stuff. So when it comes to our child or our children, it's very difficult because everyone feels that are doing right, and what I would say to them is to talk a lot about their values as a family. These values, at least these values, the big values of a family have to be common. They have to share these values, because otherwise it's very difficult to keep living together. And most of these families, when where two people are, in the core values, are, in a very distance, um, very, I don't know the name in English, but probably they are going to divorce, because then the day life is very difficult, raising children, because they argue all the time. Why are you saying this to him? Why are you saying that? And it's a big fight in a house where two people don't connect to the core values. So the first thing I would say is that the great would be to have talk about these values before having children. But if we haven't, afterwards we have to keep talking, keep working on ourselves. And why do I think this is important? And why do you think this is important? And see how our um, childhoods affect our system belief. And let's see if we can get to the same point in the core values. It's obvious we are going to do a lot of things in different ways because we are different. So we have different ways of talking, of reacting, of acting. But the values are to become, they need to be in common. And also, I would say that if they are really struggling with this and they are having a lot of problems in parenting, I would tell them to go to therapy together to see how to get to the same point, so they can raise in a family with a good ambient, because otherwise it's really painful for them, but also for the children, to see your parents fight every day in issues that you are, that affect you when you are, from 0 to 10-year old or 12 years old. You think that it's for you, it's because of you, you are guilty of making your mom and dad fight. So this is very painful for everyone, and they need to go to therapy if this is very difficult for them.
Yeah, I feel like there's a gap between the way women are getting in touch with themselves and trying to fix things, and men still consider that a woman thing or
Yeah.
a crazy dude kind of thing. So I think this gap between the mothers and of course, I don't want to generalize, but I
Yeah.
do meet a lot of mothers, like hundreds every day, and I see the patterns. So the mother struggles and goes to therapy and learns things
Mhm.
and is doing better, but the man is just, let's just spank the kid. I don't want to hear you
mm,
with all your bullshit. Shut
mm,
up. It's just we're doing a lousy
mm,
job. The kid is crying. Why is the kid crying? He's bothering me. So yeah, the struggle is real, and I think it
mm.
will take years.
Years and probably generations,
Yeah.
and this is going to change as the better we raise our children, the better the easiest will be for them to raise their own children and to connect to their partners when they are raising them, because um the gap you said, it's really big, really big. I keep seeing this all the time. For women, it's very easy to connect to their emotions and to see, connect to the inner child. And but many men think that this is bullshit. I was raised in this way, and I'm not so bad. And look at me, I'm fine. So he's going to be fine. I'm going to do the same things that my parents did to me, even if he didn't like that. It's like
Mm,
they don't want to question anything, and then the gap gets getting bigger. And with when you and your husband are in such a distance, it's very difficult to be okay as a couple. It's really difficult, and a lot of couples cannot sustain this, because the distance is like, who are you?
mm.
I liked you when you were like me, but now that we are parenting, that we are together in this and we're fighting all the day, I don't recognize you. And then a lot of couples get divorced because of that.
Yeah, unfortunately, but
Mm.
I think people deserve to be happy and understood, and kids deserve to
Mm.
be raised in a harmonious, of
Yeah,
course.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and to have like good relationship models, and women should stop accepting all
Mm.
the abuse that's going on, not only from their partners but also from the society. But that's
Mm.
another
Not
chapter. And
relationship. Yeah.
as I understand, you are writing a book about couples now on
Yeah. Mhm.
the road of parenting. So we are looking forward to that. Thank you for your
Thank
time,
you.
Miriam.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I enjoyed it.
We hope to be helpful for you guys. If you have questions, you can write to me or to Miriam. I will leave in the comments the profile page and the website. Keep an eye on her. Thank you for your books and all your contribution. I think it's still necessary for at least one generation. Let's hope, and not more than I can see it in my kids that things are getting better.
Yeah.
They will not be the kind of people to hurt or to accept abuse. They know
Mm.
their limits, and yeah, I have hope in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
Me
are
too.
still
Me
struggling,
too.
and it's a step we need to take
Yeah.
together. So yeah, for them it will be easier, and for their kids maybe even
For
better.
sure. For sure. Mm.
I will show your book again. So it's here, it's in Romanian, and it's like this guidebook for setting limits, not only with your kids, but also in your adult life. And it's very
Mhm.
important. Thank you again, Miriam, and hope to see you again
Thank you.
when your other books will be with us, hopefully
Thank you
next
very
year.
much. Thank you
We'll
very
be in
much.
touch.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.